What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Bulls Latest. Your host, Matt Johnson here. I want to kick this Wednesday show off with an exciting announcement and some exciting news that Bulls fans have been waiting for some time now throughout this entire offseason. Josh Giddey has finally come to an extension with the Chicago Bulls. He came to terms on a 4-year, $100 million deal. The deal is fully guaranteed and contains no player or team options here. This is exciting, something I've been anticipating since the start of this show back in May. He is definitely part of the future in Chicago in the next couple of years. I think he fits very well with what this team is trying to do. At just 22 years old, he cements himself as the Bulls' cornerstone at starting point guard. Giddey is coming off a career season in Chicago, scoring 14.6 points per game while averaging career highs in rebounds, assists, steals, and three-point field goal percentage as well. He posted 7 triple-doubles, the second most in a campaign in Bulls history, trailing only Michael Jordan in 1988 and 89, where Michael had 15 triple-doubles. So, Giddey's performances went to another level post-All-Star break last year after the Levine trade, where he averaged 21.2 points per game, 10.7 rebounds a game, and 9.3 assists a game. He shot 50%, including 46% on three-pointers. This guy jumped onto the scene and really earned this deal by that second half performance there. He had a memorable performance on March 22nd against the Lakers, where Giddey became the first player with 15 points, 15 assists, 10 rebounds, and 8 steals in an NBA game since steals became an official stat in 1973 and 74. That's a wild stat line for something that's gone that long since being accomplished. I've talked about this many times, but the Bulls finished last season 15-5 and secured a play-in berth, largely in part due to the impact Josh Giddey had on this program. He was a very impactful guy in a lot of lineups for Billy Donovan and allowed some of the other players to reach their full potential as well. I just think that when you look at him as a whole, I think the fact that he even played through a muscle tear in the palm of his shooting hand for the final month of the season is a testament to how tough this guy is, what he could be in terms of a leader on this team moving forward the next 4 years. And he was the second restricted free agent to kind of domino to fall here. The remaining guys include Golden State's Jonathan Kuminga and Philadelphia's Quentin Grimes there. I think it is a great deal for Chicago. I'm going to get into grading this deal. I personally give it a B-. I think in terms of getting the deal done and kind of sewing up the future for this team in the next 3-4 years, that is a major positive. I think they also got him at a pretty good price. I've sent out that figure to you guys many times in the fact that Giddey and his camp were looking for $30 million a year. So getting him at that 4-year, $100 million mark, it was expected. I think that is what we were kind of looking at, and it finally happens here. This contract takes Giddey into his prime years, giving it a chance to age well for the Bulls. That's another element of this I like a lot. The difference in this deal compared to like some others like Trey Murphy of the New Orleans Pelicans and Jalen Johnson and Jalen Sugg deals will, be important to Chicago next summer when it comes to the credentials, when the Bulls could clear max space to build around a core of Josh Giddey, Kobe White, and Modest Buzelis. I think it's exciting because it gives the Bulls some freedom on what they could do next. I wonder if that went into the negotiations and trying to build something around Giddey and those other two young players in Kobe and Modest there. They are certainly stars. It's certainly not clear if any of those players or rookie Noah Senge can be the best player on a contending team. We'll have to wait and see. Kobe White coming off a career season. Josh Giddey, obviously a huge season. And Modest Buzelis showed a lot of flash, and I think moving into the NBA Summer League and seeing how he performed and what the Bulls' expectations are for Modest, I think it could be an exciting three there. Noah Senge is going to need some development, going to have to put on some size, which I hope he's doing this summer as we roll into training camp here shortly. But compared to where Chicago was a couple years ago, and a lot of you guys can probably agree with this, fighting for a play-in spot with a core of players in their 30s, at least it represents a direction, and that was the main thing I wanted out of the Chicago Bulls moving into this next season. This deal kind of takes the next big step towards choosing a direction. Now you have 3 young players in which you can kind of shift your focus to building around moving forward. I give it a B minus because, as you guys know personally, I wasn't fully sold on locking him up long term, making him the face of this team. I think there's still a lot of question marks, but at the same time, a lot of questions were answered with this deal getting done, and I think that's a positive for Chicago. So I'm going to leave this thing at a B minus. I think that there's a lot of positives to take away from it, a lot of growth to be had with this roster still, but it's a good start and a good step in the right direction there. So, kind of diving in on more of the Chicago Bulls side in terms of an organization, what does this deal mean for the Bulls themselves as an organization? Billy Donovan definitely unlocked this productive play out of Giddey by putting the ball in his hands and allowing him the freedom to create both for himself and his teammates. That's an element I've talked about with Josh Giddey dating back to, say, May or June. Not only did Giddey shine, but he helped Matas Buzelis grow as well, and you saw that, and you saw how well he played with Kobe White. So pairing those two with Kobe gives Chicago a nice young core Chicago can build around, and I think that is something that is a bright spot for Chicago when moving forward. This deal also, I think most importantly for the Chicago Bulls, signifies growth from the front office. They remained patient, they didn't necessarily cave to the pressure to force an overpay for Josh Giddey, and this is certainly a positive because it showed that they learned something the hard way with Pat Williams, a player who received a premature deal after not living up to his potential, something that I think really hurt the Bulls in their pocketbooks and kind of where they allocate a lot of their funds moving forward. So I think learning from that and doing things the right way with Josh Giddey and getting him at this price is a major positive. I'm excited. I think there's a lot of young talent on this Bulls team. We know that already, and Josh Giddey could be the leader the Bulls are going to look towards for years to come here, and hopefully Matas Buzelis joins that fold as well and grows into the face of this team along with Josh and Kobe. So kind of finishing things up today in this show, I want to go through some NBA news. It is an interesting one here, an interesting note, but Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs are to hold a tryout for a new quote-unquote supporter section that'll happen on Sunday this week. The Spurs and Wemby are looking for, quote, high-energy fans who can commit to attending at least 75% of the team's home games this next season. The fan section will feature chants, drums, flags, and passion. It's a $999 membership cost to be in the new club. It comes with privileges such as discounts and the chance to meet surprise special guests. Wemby stated, quote, if the group reaches its full potential, I have no doubt it's going to help us win games in the future at home. With 41 contests coming at home, obviously, there's a lot of opportunity for those fans to make an impact. I think, honestly, Wemby is doing this to try and push more of that international energy into the game, into the NBA game, and bring the passion out from the fans in those regular season contests there. The NBA has gotten a bad rap a lot for the regular season kind of being a sleeper, not much energy involved, and that's why it hasn't really been that popular in terms of what fans are kind of drawn to until the postseason begins. So maybe this will be the trend of something new here. I like the idea with Wemby. We'll see how that goes Sunday and see how that shakes out. And then, obviously, the Eurobasket tournament is continuing on here. Games will wrap up before the semifinals. They move on to the semifinals after today. Yesterday, Greece defeated Lithuania 87-76 as Giannis scored 29 points, and his younger brother Kostas blocked 4 shots to help Greece to victory and help them advance to the semis to face Turkey. That'll certainly be an awesome matchup. Greece is a 2-time Eurobasket champion, winning the tourney in 87 and 05 there. In the earlier game yesterday, Turkey defeated Poland 91-77. Alperen Sengun had a triple-double, so he was a major point as to why Turkey was able to flourish in that game and move on to the semis to face Greece. The quarterfinals continue today with Finland facing Georgia and World Cup winner Germany facing off against Slovenia. I do expect Germany to really push to the final here, or the semis. I think that they have a huge shot at winning this whole thing. Georgia obviously entering their first quarterfinal as a nation. That's super exciting for them. we'll see how they face their fate holds against Finland there. I think it's going to be some exciting basketball. If you guys hadn't gotten a chance to watch some of this Eurobasket competition, it's really good ball at this point in the offseason. Kind of gets you fired up for what's to come in the NBA preseason and the season ahead and just basketball in general. So I'm going to wrap today's show up with that. Again, ecstatic that a Josh Giddey deal is now done. We can shift our focus to what's to come in the upcoming season. I think it's the right move and a good deal ultimately for Chicago, something that they needed to get done. So again, thanks for joining me on today's show, guys. If you guys can hit that subscribe button, it goes a long way for the channel. Every bit of it is much appreciated by me and the guys. So excited to continue on with you guys and what's next with the Chicago Bulls. So as always, look forward to another show tomorrow, and thanks for joining me again today, guys.